Before we begin, have you subscribed to the EcksToo Twitch? All of our non-Star Wars streams go there, from drinking in Minecraft to me absolutely raging in Dark Souls 3. I'll put a link down below, check it out if you're interested. Oh, what? I survived? Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video over here on EcksToo, and I've gotta say, things looked pretty bleak for a while when it came to Star Wars gaming, but it seems like maybe the future is a bit brighter than we expected, and the closest point of light is definitely LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. We've been covering this game pretty closely on EcksToo, and that coverage is going to continue upon the game's release. I'll probably live stream my entire playthrough of the game, unfortunately not with online co-op, which is a bit of a bummer, but we recently got another development video which showed a bunch of really cool features, and I wanted to highlight 5 of my favorite today that you should know about before going into LEGO Star Wars. The first thing I want to talk about is gameplay, and it really seems like LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga will be departing pretty significantly from the standard LEGO Star Wars format. LEGO Star Wars games in the past always have had a bit of replayability. You'd get new characters or new powers, you could go back to a mission and play it a different way, but generally they were also linear experiences. There were some exceptions, but they were more like structured adventure games. It seems like LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is going to be more of a quasi-open world adventure where you can visit different planets, where events will happen which will change the map or the interactions with characters pretty radically, and that seems very cool. It also seems like there will be a variety of different secondary missions or optional missions, and one thing that I noticed is that when Han is approaching Maz Kanata's castle, you can actually see a Star Destroyer above the planet. Now, that's obviously not what happens in the movie, so I've got to wonder, is that Star Destroyer always there? Is that something that you can take out or capture, fight against in a space battle? It does seem, in other words, like the game has dynamic elements, which you will discover just by playing. They talk about how you can be exploring space, collecting resources, and an enemy vessel can show up. The idea of getting to fight that but not having to, and that opening up some different possibilities is very, very cool. On a more, well, grounded level, it seems like there have been some really good functional changes to how on-foot action happens. We've seen previously that different shooting mechanics are added, whether it's cover or just enemies reacting to being shot in different places. They've also changed how the camera works to make the action more engaging overall, and that's a really great change because I do think the shooting and even lightsaber combat was among the weakest part of the prior LEGO games, and I almost felt like sometimes they were carried a lot by their charm and the general humor and attention to detail that you do find in LEGO games. Either way, LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga plans to give a very big shakeup to the traditional LEGO Star Wars gameplay, and I'm personally quite excited to try it out. This scene alone right here really sells the scale of the potential game. It's just a small thing, but you can see that these environments are big and that they are alive. Let's continue. The next thing I want to talk about is detailing, and this is a game that has been delayed several times, and if I'm going to be completely honest, I was actually a little bit concerned that it may never come out, or that it would come out in some really poor form. Well, based on this last development diary, it doesn't seem like that's the case at all, and rather it seems like they spent the extra time really polishing details and added lots of little extras to the game that should bring it to the next level. There are a couple of things mentioned in this video that I want to hone in on. First of all, the fact that there are so many characters. That's something that's always been a staple of LEGO Star Wars games, but it seems like it's even been further expanded onto this one. We see, for example, Sai Snoodles, but it's more than just that. Characters, for example, sound different if they're wearing a helmet. This is what they call a real-time system. It's adapting to the player's situation. I'm curious to see in what other ways similar systems have been implemented throughout the game. The next detail I want to talk about is the fact that this will easily, and I don't think it'll be close, be the largest and most visually impressive LEGO game to date. LEGO games have always had a lot of charm, and their art style has sometimes carried them where the graphic fidelity hasn't. In this game, however, it's a combination of both. Not only are we seeing peak LEGO aesthetics and also humor, which we'll talk about later, but a new level of technical fidelity, tens of thousands of different individual models and tens of thousands of different textures. That's more impressive when you consider the fact that a LEGO game by design will also have lots of different kit bashing and rebuilding of different things with the same material materials. And although sometimes people do write off these LEGO experiences as kid games, and they definitely are fun for kids, this has the lighting and graphics of a full AAA game, and that to me was actually a bit surprising in this dev diary, just how good the game looks. That transitions really nicely into my next point, which is the fact that this world goes all in on the LEGO experience. And that's not always the case, but one thing I really appreciate that they mentioned in this video is that the ships, the large structures, basically everything in the world is actually built using LEGO bricks. So theoretically, if you had enough bricks, you could recreate the things seen in this video. And of course later when you play the game. Take a look at the shot at the Venator, for example. Now, I can't identify every single brick that's used. There are thousands, if not tens of thousands of unique LEGO brick molds, but I like, for example, that the striping is actually blocks. That adds a lot to it, even though it's just a small detail. It is cool how they also talk about extending the LEGO look to creatures not necessarily seen even in live action before. This was done by examining concept art either of the thing being created or something related to the thing being created, taking LEGO designs which had some aesthetic similarities, and basically creating something new. In this case, it seems like this snake is probably the skeleton that we can see in A New Hope, but brought, well, literally to life. The last thing I want to mention is humor, and we've talked about mumble mode in a prior video. There was sort of a bit of controversy among Star Wars fans because it seemed like LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga was going to move away from the LEGO style voice acting, which is basically telling a story through grunts and jokes usually, and move to real voice acting. Well, not quite the case. They're actually giving players the option to choose what they want. They can go with a fully voice-acted story, or they can go with mumble mode. I will say mumble mode in this capacity does leave a little bit to be desired. Because the game is designed around a voice-acted performance, some of the gags that only really work if there's no voice acting won't be present, but that's okay. It's still a lot better than nothing. This video also mentions pew pew noise, where instead of actual laser blasts, the LEGO characters will make their own sounds for blasters, which is really funny. And we actually get a look at a sort of cheats menu or options menu, and there are lots of really fun options. I was so excited to see this in the game. So many games nowadays in the modern era have completely ignored the cheat menu when it's a source of so much fun and replayability. We see, for example, Super Gonk Droid. I can only imagine what that means. Baguette lightsabers, using baguettes instead of lightsabers. Gonk civilians, which is quite blessed and I think speaks for itself. And retro mode, which will change the actual presentation itself. All in all, so many cool features coming to this game, and also kind of plays into the fact that they've went all out to add little details that we will really love. But let me know, how excited are you for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga? Did this newest development diary increase your hype, or is there something missing? And the most important question, will you be playing with pew pew or baguette mode when you start the game, or do you want a more serious experience and keep those for subsequent replays? I look forward to reading all of your comments down below. Until next time, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.